Hey SK fans, we have a very special episode for you today. We have the man, the one and only, the legend, Alex Itch. Welcome to Refresh.
The one kill! Ben's up for double! Ben's up kill! Double in! Oh, look at the class, look at the moves! What was that?
That was piss poor. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of Riff Rant. I'm your host, Leonyx.
And I'm Moon, and today we're going to talk about how our community can help esports grow, and then we're going to talk about our opinions of the new meta, and then we have a special guest for you, Alex Itch.
The legend, the one.
legend himself.
And only. All right, let's jump into the discussion. How can we help esports grow in the infrastructure that we are dealing with now? I feel that there's obviously a lot that can be done. Mm-hmm. And right now there's multiple companies in our region that are taking certain steps.
Steps towards doing that.
Yeah. So HGC is one of them. Twitch is buying GG, the whole ordeal with that. But I want to talk about theory of what we can do as, in the country and how we can support that. So things like, you hear Samsung, SKT and all those crazy
like
brands over in Korea. So that's like an equivalent of
what you're
over
looking to see here.
Yeah, so if you want that, you would have to see like Verizon and Apple and Microsoft.
How cool would it be to have an Apple team?
That'd
be crazy.
PC Master Race would get kind of upset.
Yeah, well,
but
they would. But still, whatever. It'd be cool.
Apple TSM?
Apple TSM. I feel like if any team were going to be Apple, it would be TSM. Because they're the most, you know what I mean? And Apple people are very like that. Like, they're all pretty and like, oh, we're all about our look and stuff, I think it would suit them.
Is that just
That's
because...
a compliment.
Okay. But yeah, I read a story... Well, not read a story. There was a little event that happened a little bit back ago. A Buffalo Wild Wings employee got connected with the community, and he took further steps into integrating eSports and traditional viewing. Mm-hmm. So he went to corporate of Buffalo Wild Wings and got them to display league games in Buffalo Wild Wings all across of California. I don't know the certain areas and whatnot.
Yeah, no, but still.
But yeah, that's really cool to go to a bar and watch league. I know it's huge, but it's
no, that's huge because then there are people that are gonna go to the bar and they'll be like, what the hell is this? And then they'll look at it and be like, that's kind of cool. What's going on? And then that's just more people coming into the community.
Yeah, think about traditional sports. How do you view traditional sports on TV and whatnot?
They have their own channel.
Yeah, right. So imagine a TV network
being
Fox.
Pick up league. That'd be so
that's
cool.
Crazy. ESPN has already kind of done that. ESPN2, right? Or one of the lesser ESPNs.
They showed it once.
Yeah, for the World Championships, but obviously that's not totally mainstream. Mm-hmm. But to actually see that happen, it's a further step in the right direction. And then in Korea, the Olympic Committee...
it's everywhere. Yeah, it's a part two. It's a second...
Yeah, it's on the second tier
Olympic
part
sport.
Yeah. So it's the step right before the entire
official world
national Olympic thing, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's ever going to go anywhere. It might take a long time. To wrap up this particular conversation of what someone can do in esports, I want to know what your opinion. Okay, if you had $1 trillion and you had to make one move to further esports, what would you invest that $1 trillion in?
Oh my goodness, that's rough. Maybe to open some sort of arcade style bar or restaurant. I think that's.
But $1 trillion. Think about $1 trillion.
That's a lot of money. So I could make 100 of them across the country.
Yeah.
And then it would continue to profit, and then from there you could start a team. You know what I mean? No, I'm saying it would be a bar that incorporates League of Legends. It would be themed, but it would also cater to other sports and stuff. I think that that people going, like, an outing in a place like that is the best place for people to find out about it other than the internet, because with $1 trillion, you can do more than just make a website.
Well,
like, if you make an actual place where people could go and see it, they'd be like, oh, there's this new restaurant and they stream League.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, that'd be cool, you know?
Well, with $1 trillion, like, look at traditional sports right now and, like, how Fox is, like,
Maybe start a
each
whole new
city
tournament? I don't know.
owns a team.
Yeah.
So imagine, like, we took on more of a traditional kind of format. I know that might not work for
I don't
League.
think so.
It might not work for League, but, I mean, who knows?
Look at NA right now. It's just like, yes, there's Americans in NA, but there are so many Europeans, so many Koreans.
Well, in, like,
I mean,
traditional sports, like, not everyone from the city comes from, like, one team.
Yeah,
See
that's
what I mean?
true.
It
No,
could
you're right.
be
You're right.
like a...
But it's bigger than just like, oh, he lives out of state. It's like this person barely is learning English and just came from Korea. Like, that doesn't really happen too much in like football, you know?
I guess
or like
what
soccer. Well, soccer maybe. But.
Yeah, I guess what, like, the real question is if it does, make it to that point of taking over traditional sports.
Or at least being on the same level.
What would the infrastructure would be like? Like, what would that actually be a setting in North America or even in the West and in Europe?
You know, I think the number one thing that's keeping it from getting there is the lack of respect that the people who don't understand it have for it. People don't understand how smart and, like, I don't know, people don't understand how difficult it actually is. They think it's like, oh, that's fun, it's a game, you're playing games for a living. Like, they don't actually understand how complicated it is. And I think that if it had more respect and people really understood what it was, like, in sports, we all know that not everyone can run 100 miles an hour for 2 hours and then, like, kick a ball, like, really hard far. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a general understanding of how difficult it is. That's why it has that respect. But in esports, it's like, oh, you're sitting on, people look at it and say, oh, you're just sitting on a computer, like, playing a game. But it's so much more than that. It's all up here. So if there was a sort of explanation of sorts where people could actually learn how complicated and difficult it was, that would be a huge step in it being accepted more, especially here, because in Korea it's already accepted. They know how difficult it is there. That's why it's so, that's why it's looked up so much. But here it's not like that because there's just not as much of respect.
I think, like, if it does take over, we can maybe see it like the same infrastructure and format of, like, soccer.
Yeah, where it's just like,
Kind of.
yeah, there's like a location for it.
I don't know. I guess
Right, like,
I guess what the real thing is, I know that we as a community look at, oh yeah, we want to take. I don't think it needs to be taking over traditional sports.
No,
it
I
can
think it
just
needs
be
to
its
be
own
even,
thing.
or
No,
like-
no, it can be its own thing.
Like a separate, okay, yeah.
It's a separate thing.
I don't
It
want it
just
to be
forms-
compared, but I think they have an equivalent amount of respect.
Yes.
Yeah,
Correct.
definitely not like compared.
All right. So tell me about the meta.
Okay, so I want to go back to talking a little bit more, which we haven't gotten to do for a while, about the actual change in meta that is happening right now, because it's crazy. Last season, but at the end of everything, you were just seeing the same champions, consistent lanes, consistent champions on every player, and now all of a sudden you're seeing crazy stuff like 80 carries mid, you're seeing Nidalee jungles. Like, there's like a whole new change, and I want to talk about maybe how that happened and how it's benefiting the game and making it more entertaining.
I think just because it's a fresh new season.
Yeah, and this season has one of the most actual game changes than we've had in a while. I mean, trinkets were huge, but then the whole jungle and all of the camps and all of the smite ads and everything, I think that added to a lot of the reason why this is happening.
Being a new season, I think it's very refreshing. Having to be able to introduce new theory crafting methods into the game.
Yes.
Such as I know Ezreal mid has been a while, but
yeah,
like Corki
but now it's AD Ezreal mid. It
Yeah,
used to be AP Ezreal
AP
mid, so it's like it's similar but it's different.
Mm-hmm. Like I think it's a very refreshing time, especially through all seasons. But I think this particular season is a little bit different because there's so many objective-based things in the game now, such as Dragon, that gives the buff. And now, like, everything has to be coordinated as a team. Like, back in Season 2 and Season 3, they're, like
play 80 carry.
80 carry was the, the backbone, like, legit the carry in the game. And Season 3 was all the assassins and just 100 to 0 people. Now, like...
They're evening things out and making it more... even the support role has changed. I mean, it's a lot more important now, and there's a lot more unique champions being chosen as support because everything is all about objectives.
I think it's definitely meshed in so much together that it's definitely proven to be now solely a team game. But I think the only role out of all 5 of them that doesn't really fit well with that is the support role.
The support
And I'll tell you why. Here, quote from...
in the changes?
In the changes.
Okay.
I think the support role has definitely remained
the same?
pretty much the same out of all the rules. And I'll tell you why from Season 4 to Season 5.
Yeah.
Trinkets.
Yes.
Everyone has a trinket. I don't think since the introduction of trinkets, quote from LemonNation, I don't know the exact quote. Someone can go find it, whatever. We'll pull it up. We'll pull it up from our editor. But he says that ever since the new trinkets being introduced into the game, there has never been a support player that has been number 1 in a region.
That's true. A huge part of their role has been dispersed among the team.
Yes, and now supports are looked as more utility and just kind of making mechanical plays and carrying the team like that, but not as a definite carry role.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of like
a positioning carry, or
they're like a tool.
Yeah, it is like a tool. It's like a stepping stone.
I think that's the only role that hasn't changed, which would be interesting for Season 5 if they just took away trinkets. Like, what if they did take away trinkets and maybe not the war trinkets,
but
just kept the red one and the sweepers and the oracles, and maybe add something else. Maybe add oracles back into the game just as a cost thing. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but it's very interesting. Let's go down the roles, like top lane, for instance.
Top lane, I think, has remained the same a lot because it's still an island. Top lane is still, I mean, with
I don't think so, because
the
TP.
teleport, that's what I mean, though. You have your TP so that you can stay on your island until you're needed, and then you go to wherever you need, and then you go back to your island. Like, I feel like top lane's pretty consistent.
True, I don't think...
and champion-wise, it seems to, like, play as consistent, you know?
Yeah, the teleport really does mesh well into, like, the team meta. Like, Season 5, it feels it's the team meta.
So much.
This is, assassin meta, AD carry meta. I don't even know what Season 4 meta was. What is that? Like, kind of like a mix between the team meta and the Season 3, I guess?
I mean, because you had both. You had certain... It was up to the team. You had teams playing
it was to
carry
their
meta.
Own,
it was to their own liking.
Yeah, in Season...
Which is also interesting, because now that it's different, now that it's so much of a team game, how do teams that play more for one role, like, adjust to that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so Season 5, it's all team.
All team.
Top lane, I just feel like it will forever be in this team meta until teleport is nerfed, and then they go back to the ignite, and then that's where the top lane top lane carries will actually come back into play. Like, I don't know, Darius or something like that.
Risen.
Something ridiculous like the ribbon stuff.
We've not seen that.
Now it's so funny how we talk about that and laugh, and just like that used to be a thing.
I know,
right?
and
all
the time.
We joke about it, but it
was real.
It will one day shift back.
Oh yeah.
Actually, I think this season, this is the most diverse mid-champion pool out of everyone. I think it's like 18 or some ridiculous amount of champions that are viable in the actual like eSports scene.
Yeah.
But also like
and
it's not like bad to see in Ezreal mid and solo queue either. I think the toxicity as well has dropped.
Yeah, I
for some
remember
reason.
Last season it was all like, oh, if you're gonna play something like not meta, like if I were to play Diana jungle or something, which I know isn't great or whatever, but like at the time people would immediately just like AFK, like no, I'm not gonna play with this, it's bad. But now there's a lot more open-mindedness in the community towards new meta or champions being brought into the meta, because they're seeing it in professional play and they're like, oh, well, if there's gonna be a Hecarim or a Corki mid, then why don't you play Diana jungle? Like whatever, I'll see if you can do it. You know, there's a lot more of like okay, you can try something new, like attitude, and I like that.
Okay, so
it got stale.
You're a bit of a jungle main. How do you feel about the Vi, Jarvan, and Lee Sin only?
I was gonna say, you know who we've never seen leave the jungle? Lee Sin and Jarvan. I mean, Vi has had her moments where she wasn't there, but she's mostly around. But Jarvan and Lee Sin will always be so good. It's like no matter what you do to them. Do I hate that?
Do you feel that they're so balanced that they have remained consistent in the meta, or maybe they're just overpowered, or all the other junglers need to be buffed?
I think, you know what, interesting. I think that certain junglers do need to be buffed. There are junglers that I miss seeing, and there are junglers that I miss playing. I think that who I really want to see be really strong in the jungle right now again is Evelynn, because she, ever since the change in the jungle, she's like pretty much unplayable. It's so difficult to get through your buffs and like survive the jungle like phase up to like level 3, level 5, that it's almost impossible to play her well without like a team that knows how to like help you jungle, you know? Mm-hmm. So I want to see certain champions definitely get buffed a little bit, but I don't think that I want to see Jarvan and Lee Sin get nerfed as much as I'm just impressed by the fact that they're still around. Like, I do enjoy them. They're good champions. I don't play Lee Sin, but I like Jarvan, and I don't mind seeing him around. He's definitely a good ban if you don't like him.
Quote unquote St. Vicious, by the way. Jarvan's
Jarvan's
broken.
OP. Back to
Jarvan's
you.
broken. Exactly. Back to you. AD carry. I feel that marksmen, AD carries, whatever your preference is, viewers, they're in a very weird and strange spot right now.
I think that they're about to come back as not just ADs, but AD carries. I feel like I have a sneaking suspicion that they're going to be more important than they've been in a while again. Because with the reason I think this is because with the item changes, the lack of DFG, and the damage nerfs on a lot of the
no
assassins.
more 100 to 0 bullshit.
No more 100 to 0 APs.
I hate that.
No more 100 to 0 APs. But then you have your items being buffed on the AD carries, so it's like 100 to 0.
I kind of like that.
AD, yeah, of course, as an AD main.
I like that.
As an AD main, you want to be like, pew, pew, killing everyone real fast.
Exactly.
Yeah, but now we're not going to see any more Ari's DFG you with her E, and all she can do is be a little bit faster and deal a little bit less damage.
This is my meta.
Yeah, this is your meta.
All right.
I have to learn this meta.
Yeah. So let's leave a question of the day. We haven't done a
question of the day
in a while
so
before we
long.
get to our guest. Question of the day: what do you miss?
What do you miss
seeing in esports, like a champion?
Yeah,
like
what
a specific champion?
do you, now that it's a meta where anything is going to happen, what are you looking forward to seeing in this meta?
Comment in the video below in the the
comments
section right
down there.
somewhere. I don't know. What champions you miss seeing
video.
played in esports scene. All right, that wraps up our discussion. Stay tuned because we have Alex Ich in the studio. He's going to discuss with me his road to success in the esports industry. Welcome back, SK fans, and I'm joined by our very special guest today, the legend himself, Alexei Ichotofkin. Thank you for being on our show, Alex Ich. First things in order, I kind of want to know what it took from getting from point A to point B in esports for you back in 2009. What was the journey to the legend, Alex Ich?
So, where do you want to start? From just the beginning?
Yeah, just from the beginning. Empire Gaming, for instance, or the Go for Lols, I guess.
Like, before the Empire, there was a long story. I guess as for every player at that time, it's just like switching teams and looking for something. We were like trying to make the Russian team, and I think there were like, I'm not sure how many teams with me, Genja, and Darien in any kind of variation. Like, I think like first we got team with me, Genja, Darien, someone else. I don't really remember, like Irugat, maybe someone else. Then we got Darien kicked because he was feeding a lot. Then I think I left the team myself. Then I got back and we did the team with me, Darien, Genja, Irugat, and Zulin. And I was playing jungle, I think, at that time. And then I left the team like 1 week before the qualifiers to the IM Kiev. And then I played the qualifiers with the other Russian team as the top laner. And we failed it. And then the next qualifier, I came back and Irugat and Zulin didn't want to play. So it was me, Genja, and Darien again. And I was playing as mid laner, and we just found out like Edward and Diamond Prox. Like I found Edward because I was playing with him a lot, and then Diamond Prox was like his friend or something. He said like he got the good jungler to play with, and we decided to try it out, and it worked. Like we got through qualifier with that famous Empire Nunu move.
Yeah, the crazy one in the bush and triple kill, right?
Yeah, and then like that. After we got through qualifier, the Moscow 5 team got interested in us, and they got much better offer compared to Empire. So we decided to join that tech because Moscow 5 was pretty popular overall, and we knew that they offer better things for the team compared to Empire. And after that, we got to IM Kiev, and we have won it. And like there the road started.
The Moscow 5 legends, right?
Yeah.
So in Darien, Diamond Prox, and Edward and Genja, when you found all those guys, there's some rumors and stories of you are the team leader of Moscow 5 at the time, right? And how did you work well with the team? Like work with the team, I guess. The dynamic. I know at the time Diamond Prox was a lesser jungle, I guess at the time. Did you teach him jungle to be what he is today? Or
he was playing pretty good. Like he understood the ways of playing jungle, and like the only problem was his hero pool. Like if anyone knew that his hero pool was really low, they could abuse it. Because for example, I think when we were playing IM Kiev, he was playing like 2 champions, and at KM Kiev qualifiers at IM Kiev he was playing like 2 or 3 champions, and then like at Hanover he was already like playing a lot. And the dynamic was pretty strange. I mean, like before IM Kiev, we have won almost all the scrims, and we were just stomping every team.
Yeah.
So when we were coming to the tournament, even though teams didn't think that we I'm not sure if teams knew who we are or if we are underdogs or not. We were pretty confident in ourselves, and we knew that we're gonna most probably win this. And coming to IM Hanover, we were not that sure about that because our scrim record was much worse. It's like we were losing almost every scrim, and we started winning 1 week before Hanover. We started winning everything. So like the scrim dynamics is really strange there. But it's like I think that the team just played much better when in tournament, and before the IM Kiev, they were playing it was like much the tournament too, because we needed to get there and started winning. And after that, like the team relaxed more, and we were pretty good at tournaments, but not as good as in scrims or online. But it was, it were fun times there.
Moscow 5 building up that legend. Now, Moscow 5, you guys come in international tournaments and just completely stomping everyone left and right and building up a name for yourself. Do you feel that this could have maybe even carried on longer after Gambit Gaming?
I think that the Moscow 5 name was helping us a lot there, and I'm still not sure what would happen if we kept Moscow 5, like if the bad things didn't happen to Dmitry Smely, because it was really good team, and I felt really good there. And I guess it was more from just the team, but the tag and like the legends and the people there. Good old times.
Yeah.
But after that, in Gambit Gaming, I think it could continue like that if there was no LCS system, because as you can see, for example, Genji leaving the team because he can't really even after I left, because he can't really live with this kind of schedule, like traveling back and forth. Mm-hmm. It gets really tired and it gets really in your head, especially if you're not winning everything. It gets in your head a lot because you're spending more than 24 hours from a week for just traveling, and it gets all your resources there.
It totally hurt your lineup for sure over time, right?
Yeah, it's if we could get there somehow and live in Germany, I think we wouldn't have such problems as we got. I'm not sure how would people react to that. I mean, for example, I think that Genja, he got family that he takes care of, and he really loves his father and sister, and he wants to live with them. Maybe, I'm not sure, but if I wouldn't be able to go without my family too, and Diamond Prox without his girlfriend. So it's just if we move there, we need to move there. At least for me, it was I wanted to move there with the family, but the more problem is the visa problem too, because we could be in Germany, in Europe, only 90 out of 180 days. So it was when we're during LCS, it was around 70 days or even more. So we got not that much time left, so we couldn't just live there throughout the whole season. We needed to go back and forth anyway.
You guys joined Gambit Gaming. Are you guys fall off eventually? What happened there? Team dynamic, friendship. Are you guys still friends now, or who are you still close with? You said Genjo went back to his family. Edward and Diamond still play. Darian kind of disappeared. Where are you in terms of that?
Like I'm speaking still sometimes with Darian and Genjo. Mostly I speak to Edward, and it's like I think that Darian knew he was going to get kicked, and he was fine with it because I am not sure what happened, but he himself felt that he can like play as good. Maybe because of traveling, maybe something you don't know. And as for Genja, I don't think that the team wanted to replace him. It was like his own decision there, as far as I know. Like I've got the information about that. And as for Edward and Diamond, I don't know. Like they're still playing, and I think that Gambit should have been good, but I don't know what happened. They're pretty unlucky this season, I guess, because like I think maybe not everyone, but I was really having great hopes for this season for them because they were looking really good as far as I know, and they were like really good in scrims. So I guess something happened on stage. Maybe they got too nervous, or they just like bent big face. And I think that they will get better and better, and they should be at least mid-pack in this season.
Why the move from NIP, from Gambit Gaming to NIP? I know that I know what that is, but can you probably explain a little bit more on that?
I was just leaving Gambit overall because I guess I was too tired of the traveling and everything, and the team moral was getting down and all the problems there, and like I decided that I should be the first step on the team to change overall because it was getting down and down, and like I think that the decision I made, it was pretty good. Like overall the team looked pretty promising with me, Nukdak, Mithi, Ku, and Freeze. We were winning like every scrim. I think we were like 95% win ratio against the LCS
That was the
team.
EU Super Team, right? Like that was the next one.
It's like we were winning everything, and our team synergy was super great and everything. Like it is one of the teams that from the beginning just wins everything. It's like it happens really seldom, and after that it's just like unlucky circumstances
With the ban of Nuke Duck and Mythic,
yeah, it was
right?
just like you can't really predict that, and like of course people can blame me for that or something, but like overall the team was super good, but it just went out bad. That's it. And then after that there were some decisions that I regret. Like I've got offers from LCS teams that I did decline and I shouldn't do. But like this is some of experience that you get throughout the time, that you understand that like LCS teams are more than challenger teams, and if you're like especially now, I think that like it would be much better for me in LCS, because more you're in some kind of challenger teams, harder it is to get into LCS because teams thinks that you are playing better or something, and you can't really prove yourself here.
Now that you join NIP after your slow departure from what was of Moscow 5 and Gambit Gaming to NIP because of its super team, with the banning of Nuke Duck and Mythy, did you feel that, oh, this is not NIP, we can't do this anymore? What was that relationship like? I know that you took to social media about it, about the NIP organization. Could you maybe shed some more light on that and how they treated you? I know they maybe have fixed some stuff with you. What happened?
I can't really blame NIP organization on anything. I think they were doing good. I guess it was some kind of misunderstandings with me and one of the managers, I guess. I'm not sure like what he's in the NIP team. So it was just like, I guess the overall like they changed their mind on the team. Like they were willing to maintain the team even if we don't get into LCS. So I felt pretty stable there. That's why I didn't want to leave. And then they changed their mind when we didn't get into LCS, and they decided to just like drop me off. And it was like really backstabbing for me, because I knew that like I still didn't get the visa. I couldn't move the family, and it affected a lot like my gameplay, because like it's much easier when you know that you're stable and you know that your family is around, and like you don't need to think about it at all. And there were a lot of like other minor problems there, and after that, like I discussed with NAP management, and I guess we fixed most of our problems, and we left on pretty good relationships. And I really hope that NAP, if they get into League of Legends scene, they will they know, I guess, their mistakes that they were doing, and they will fix most of them. I think that is the problem of a lot of teams that are getting into the scene. They're just doing the mistakes, and they need to fix them, and then it goes good.
Mm-hmm. You being one of the veterans of the scene, Diamond Prox too, you got married. Like where was that in the timeline? How did that affect your League of Legends career? It's pretty much one of the happiest times in your life, right?
Yeah. I married after Hanover in a couple of months, and it was pretty fun, and I liked it a lot and stuff, like the honeymoon and everything. The only thing that was a bit sad is that when I came out from honeymoon, I understood that the team didn't train a lot, and I think the players were not playing even solo queue or something. So it was not only me that needed to get back into shape, and that's why we were it was not getting us so fast to the Season 2 finals, but we still did. I think we're doing really good on the finals, and I guess it just depends. It still depends on luck, though. I don't know. Sometimes you can't predict everything, and it's just you can't really say that we were not prepared enough to win the tournament. It's just the team that we played against was better, and at that moment, that's it. It's it's still a gamble. Still, the game we are playing is gamble, and even though it depends on skill, sometimes it just happens that you lose.
Being married, what were the obstacles that you had to overcome by playing on Gambit Gaming on that lineup? What are the pros and cons? Did it hold you back from being the best mid player in all of the Western and even the world? Or I know that Doublelift had said in IEM, once you get a girlfriend, your skill significantly decreases.
I don't think that it was a matter. I think I was playing a lot and much more than the most players, and I still playing much more than a lot of players, especially players that get girlfriend. So I don't think that's an issue. The problem much more was the traveling, because it disturbs you a lot. No matter I'm not sure even if I didn't have a wife and I traveled like that, how would it be? It was just too hard to maintain mentally, physically. It's too much, especially when you got the family and you are thinking about them all the time. And my wife was helping me a lot with that, but even for her it was it was too much, and we're still trying to fix all the problems that happened during that, because it just crushed us mentally a lot, me and her, and it were really hard times. And right now it's much better because I can spend much more time with them, and even if I join LCS, I will be 30 minutes from studio, or 30 minutes from the team that I will be going to the gaming house. It will be much easier compared to what we got there.
You said that she had a mental stroll on the family. What does she think about all this? Moving to NA, moving to Berlin, Germany, back and forth, Russia. She's supportive, and does she play the game a lot, or she knows exactly who to root for? Alex Ich on stage?
Yeah, she knows the game. She doesn't play only RMs, and it's right now it's much easier, and she's supportive, especially with moving here. She likes LA a lot, and the special problem in Russia, it's really cold, especially in winter, autumn. There is only summer there that is pretty hot, and in LA it's hot the whole year, so she really likes the place. And once we're settled in here, it will be much better, I guess, and it will be really good.
For sure. So in EU LCS, Xpeke and you and Froggen, notably the best Western mid laners in the world, right? Peke this year went off to build his own team in Origin. Did you have any aspirations to do something like that after NIP with your pool and your skill and playstyle?
Mm, I'm not sure about expecting like if it is like overall his own team or I guess it is. Overall, I think it is a good move as to do that. For me, it's a bit harder, or I would say it's a lot harder. Like right now, maybe in NA I can do that, but in Europe, for example, I can't do that. And I think it requires a lot of resources from you, and I think I don't really have that much resources compared to expect it to do that. So for me, it's much better to be one of, for example, like co-builders of the team, or just like just get into the team that is already done. And if I build my brand enough here, then maybe I can do something like that. But I'm not sure if I really will to do that.
Now you go to NA. Teammate helps you out with your visas. Are we going to see any play from you on Teammate?
I think that they maybe use me if it will go bad for them, but I don't really think so, because like right now I think that the team synergy is really good and they are really good friends, so they don't want to change anything. It's like it's not just the team of 5 like players that they got together there as the friends, so it's a team of friends. So I don't think that they want to change anything there. I think it will only come to that if they will be like losing a lot or something. But right now they're doing good. So.
How did you make that connection with Teammate to get over here?
So I spoke to the guy from BrawL team, and I guess he's a really good friend with the Teammate owner, Eric, and like they decided to have me as a sub because it helps them for example, for obvious reasons, like if they want to use me as a coach or as a sub, and just for for media and everything, and it helps me because I get the visa, because you can't get the NA visa even if you're in Challenger team, only if you're in LCS.
Makes sense. Team BrawL, how did that come to fruition?
I was just trying to find the team to go, and like I've got offers from EU, but it is really hard to rely on them because I'm not sure about the visa thingy and how it will work out. It is like a lot of risk. So between like EU offers and NA offers, I chose the NA offer because I knew for like 90% that I will get visa for me and my family. And after that, it will be really easy, and even like if I get zero help or something goes bad, I can settle up myself, and then like I can still find it. Like even if it doesn't go well here, I can find other opportunities. I'm more open for opportunities right now than I was there, and like it motivates me much more to play like this.
Now that you're in NA, you're on BrawL, you sub in for Teammate. Future aspirations for you? What's the main goal? What's your angle of coming on to NA? I know that to be successful and have a visa, work well with your family. What's your dream goal? What's the mark for you?
It's like I guess the mark is for everyone the same. Like get into LCS and then get to Worlds. Like right now, I think if I don't get the offer from good LCS team, I can't get to Worlds this year. So I guess the mark is the Worlds next year. But if I get the offer, of course, from good LCS team, I would join it.
Okay, I know that. On your reflections, you spoke to Thorin and said that we're building our own EU super team for yourself. But if you had to make a super team, an NA super team with whomever you want to go to Worlds, excluding Koreans, who would it be? And yourself including. You can play any role you want, even AD carry if you want.
NA?
NA, yeah. Any players that you admire in NA?
You know, all players are pretty good. So it's hard. Like I'm not sure. Like overall, if I have time, I guess it would be for me better to play top lane and get someone like Bjergsen mid lane, something like C9 bot lane, I guess, and not sure who jungler. I guess Santorin just for the Danish synergy.
Danish synergy. Yeah. All right. Do you have any shout-outs, plugins for your fans?
I want to thank everyone watching me, and I want to thank everyone rooting for me. I want to say thanks to my wife, my child, and overall, like all the rest of my family, like my parents. like they're helping me a lot, especially in the hard times, like my fans, my family, and I really think that I'm not sure, like, for example, if the same happened, but I didn't have family, I don't know how it would work out, because maybe I would just say, like, I'm done with it and just go out. But this, like, helps me a lot to still be in shape and try my best, even, like, when sometimes it goes wrong, you're just, like, doing your best to get back where you were and even better.
Very inspiring words, Alex. Thank you for coming on the show. If you want more content just like this, be sure to check out SK Gaming on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to HyperX for giving us the studio. Other than that, until next time.